Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King. Today we will be taking a look at Kyle. I am aware that this hero used to be extremely powerful. Especially in the Korean version, he made his own meta for a good time. And it's okay to use him still to this very day. You can still use him in the Korean version and he'll still be pretty decent. However, I don't know too much about him on this one, but I'm guessing he might be the same way, since they kept Sylvester his same old overpowered self. I have a feeling that they may have possibly kept Kyle the same way. I'm hoping.
Eliminate anyone who stands in my way!
Anyone who stands in my way! Alright, calm down, Kyle. Why are you so triggered anyway? Is there something wrong? Are those nipple piercings giving you a hard time? Applies chain effect to the caster. If the damage received is higher than his current HP, he survives with 1 HP and nullifies damage received 7 times. Applies damage transfer to target when attacked up to 7 times. But what exactly does chain effect do? Every third attack deals 100% physical damage to all enemies 2 times. Piercing and critical will take effect. Decreases the enemy's buff rotation by 2 turns. So what damage transfer is it's pretty much just a damage reflect. Damage transfer. Transfers damage received to one enemy the damage transfer debuff is applied to. The debuff will be removed when damage is transferred to the target. So the only thing different with this character is his Void Shield. Instead of it just being there, he actually gets that shield when he takes lethal damage. So the more max HP, the more defensive items you actually put on him, the more of a threat he's going to be. And the value of that 7-hit Void Shield is going to go way up. But you have to build him right if you really want to work with this passive ability. So overall, I kind of like this passive ability. I think it's okay. The mechanics are a little different and are going to take a little getting used to because never really was a fan of that, activating a Void Shield after they've taken lethal damage. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Not as weird as that Guyliner though. Deals 100% physical damage to 4 enemies 2 times. Ignores the enemy's defense. Deals 2,500 fixed damage. Decreases the enemy's buffed rotation by 3 turns. So, I don't know if the fixed damage thing was there before. It has been, I'd say, just a couple of months since I've really used him at all in the arena. Because after Delins received the update he did in the Korean version, he's been back in the meta. So, I haven't really been able to use him too often, but I think the fixed damage might be just a little new. Maybe they just wanted to make it hit a little bit harder. It always had trouble dealing damage anyway, so I'm kind of glad they added that buff. But alright, what his second active ability does is he deals 90% physical damage to all enemies 3 times. Piercing and critical hit will occur. Didn't this have like a debuff or something on it? I know it did a lot more than this. I just can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe I'm overthinking this and it really was just this. Just kind of just a damaging ability. But I always used to think this did more. I don't know. Let's take a look at his Awaken ability. As for his Awakening skill, he deals 110% physical damage to all enemies 3 times. Piercing and critical hit will occur. So I actually just went back to see what his original version was. They actually buffed several things in here and they nerfed a couple of things as well. He used to just have a Void Shield. I was right about that. And he used to do a little bit more damage with his second active ability. But they kind of nerfed that a little bit and gave the damage to his first active ability, and they increased the damage of his Awakening skill. So the only thing that does less damage is his second active, and his passive ability might be a little more effective if used correctly. So overall, he's really just been balanced. Not a ton has been changed, just more or less a balance. His Awakening skill will hit a lot harder though, that's for certain. But alright. Nothing changed?
This will be your grave!
Now this is still one of the coolest animations in the game.
Feel the burning of my explosive rage!
Man, that just looks really cool. So what his special item does at level 46, you guys gotta get this one for this hero. You just have to. Because what this does, at level 46, all of his active abilities except his awakening skill randomize enemy formations and positions. That is ridiculous. Giving Kyle any type of crowd control, any type of crowd control at all, is ridiculous. Because he's already a really heavy-hitting hero, and giving him something like that just makes him overpowered. But okay, at level 48, he gets a 30% increase in counter rate, which for Kyle is actually pretty good. And at level 50, chain effect increases the caster's burn resist rate by 90%. Well, that's kind of nothing. And increases counter rate by 50%. I mean, Sylvester does have a lot of burn on him, so I guess that would be kind of useful against him, but for the most part, kind of useless. Because if you have a hero with debuff resistance on your team, that's going to prove pretty much pointless, because the game's going to be over by the time that buff's gone anyway. So, the only really powerful thing right here is the counter rate, because counter rate with Kyle is extremely deadly, because it works very, very well with his passive ability. So, overall, what do I think of Kyle? Right now, I think he has the hardest hitting awakening skill compared to the more popular heroes that are being used as win conditions right now, like Lu Bu and Sylvester. Sylvester can refresh his ability, absolutely, but by the time he actually uses his awakening skill, since it has such a slow charge, the match may be nearing its end anyway, and his awakening skill may have just been a finisher. And let's say it's been used, probably like mid-game or something like that, it's still not going to be as effective as Kyle and his nipple chains, because Kyle has more burst potential, and his damage is way higher since he's an offensive hero. So saying all that, Kyle's awakening skill is better than his. And the same goes for Lu Bu's, if you think about it. Lu Bu doesn't hit as hard as Kyle, but you have to understand what makes this effect strong is the fact that it has crowd control. It has piercing, and it ignores enemies' defense, and it stuns them. So, you have to compare those two right there. The stun and the piercing and the ignoring defense. All of that is really, really powerful. But when you look at Kyle's awakening skill, yeah, he has guaranteed critical, and he has guaranteed piercing, and it deals 110% physical damage. It doesn't ignore defense, but it still has that piercing and it still has that critical. If it had ignore defense on there, it would just be overpowered. So Kyle definitely has very, very high DPS. He always was a high DPS character. The last time he was released on the Korean version, he was just a straight up DPS character. He was a solid damage dealing hero. And he's still a solid damage dealing hero. So, but is he better though? A lot of people will be wondering that. In a way, he does hit a little bit harder. His awakening skill hits way harder. And his first active ability hits way harder. The only ability that hits a little weaker is his second, but that's not really a problem. And I'm noticing they just gave me one. I thought I had him maxed out. They gave me one Kyle today, but I just thought that I had him maxed out already. I just thought I did, but I guess I'm thinking about my Korean account right now. Great. Well, I gotta find him again. That's fine. At least they gave us a free one today, which was pretty cool. But overall, I think Kyle is a bit better than he was when he was released on the Korean version. Although his passive ability does suggest a different playstyle, he still is the same extremely powerful damage dealer he always has been, only better. And now that I think about it, his awakening skill was one of the most deadly things on the Korean version, and it didn't really do all that much damage. In fact, I think it had the same effect it did before. It just didn't do as much damage. And now that it does even more, yeah, that's pretty powerful right there. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, my fellow gamers. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications, my fellow gamers. And please check out my Warframe series if you have the time. But until next time, my fellow gamers, take it easy for me, and please do have a blessed day. Oh, and one more thing before I go, if you want to see the teaser to my cartoon, let me know. I will release it in my next Warframe video. But until then, bye.